Okay. Hi everyone. In this video, we will be seeing the Pandas library for handling machine learning data, and we will also come across the term data frame. So, what are data types and data frames, and how it can be used in a machine learning project? We will be seeing it is actually an introduction series to the machine learning. So before diving into the pandas and the data frame, let me just demonstrate a simple class called as point. Okay, so the main aim of this demonstration is that to make sure you understand that data frame and what are all the classes that come within the pandas. They are all based on object oriented programming. So for demonstrating object oriented programming, so I will be using this particular cell. Okay, so let me just build it. So as you can see, I am currently running the particular cell, and you can see that the class is actually the name of the class is class point. So it means that we are creating a class called as point, and the members are x that is equal to 0 and y that is also equal to 0. So these two are just values that refers to a point. So in order to define a function within a class, so this is a member function. So this member function, in order to define this member function within the class, okay, so we give that keyword def, that means define a function. So we have double underscore and init and double underscore. So actually you type this at double init, and you again once again give double underscore. So it means that this is a constructor. So when creating a point, you can directly pass in the parameters, pass in the values of the point object using this constructor. So the first parameter is the self. Self should also always be given when we are giving a member function in the Python. So self is commonly called as it is equivalent to this in other languages such as C++ and Java that supports object-oriented programming. So the next parameter is x and the next parameter is y. So this actually means that self.x, it refers to the current instance self dot x. So the x of the current instance is equal to the x that is passed in the parameter. And similarly, the y of the current instance is equal to the y that is received from the argument. So this means that the x and y values are initialized to the point object using the constructor. So next we define a function, and the function name of the function is show, and there is no argument that is passed to this function. So only self is given, and now we just print the term self.x comma and self.y. So we just concatenate it. Okay, so when we are using this class definition for creating a point object, we can give it as v equal to point of 3 comma 4. So this actually means that we are giving constructor. Okay, so the 3 comma 4 is actually we are giving okay, so we are actually calling the constructor and passing the values 3 comma 4 to the point object. So that will create a point with the x value 3 and y value 4, and when we call the v dot show, it will display the variables x and y to the output. Okay, so it is a simple example demonstrating the member functions, the data, the members, and how values can be stored within a single object using the object oriented programming. So this is a basics that is required for you to sorry, work with the pandas library. Sorry. So next we import the pandas. It is a pre-processing library, and that is used for CSV and input output. You can read a Excel file, you can read a CSV file, so all those things you can do. So import pandas as PD. Next we just import this, and now you can see that I am creating a list. So this is actually a list consisting of many departments. So you can see that the departments are computer science, commerce, PA, English, mathematics, microbiology, biochemistry, and this is a list that is created. So this is a list of courses or the list of departments, and we just convert this into a data frame object. Okay, so this is actually a list object. This list object is converted into a pandas data frame object. So data frame, the data type is actually part of the pandas library. So let me just print this type. So I just print this and I mention the keyword as type and I give the list here, and now when I press Control Enter, you can see that it is a class of list. So it is a list object. So when I give the same command, okay, to the data frame object, you can see that the data frame is created, but it is 1 second, let me just change the value. Okay, so when the same command is given to the df object, you can see that it is pandas.core.frame.dataframe. So it is a data frame object. So we create a data frame using a simple command such as df, that is a variable equal to pd, that is pandas alias name dot data frame and lst. So the list, we pass in the list and the output is the data frame, and you can directly print the data frame. And as you can see, the data frame index is starting from 0, just like an array for both the columns and the row. So you can see that computer science is in the row 0 and column 0. So 0, 0 is the index for computer science. So this is how you can create a data frame using a list. Okay, so this is how you create a data frame using a list. I'm sure this would have been easier. So as you can see, when we have created the data frame with the indexes, it will start from 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So for getting a particular row and column from the data frame, we give data frame, and within the square bracket we just give the indexes that is required. So when we don't give like this, okay, we can directly print out the data frame itself. So first I am printing the computer science from the data frame, next I am printing the data frame itself. So this is how you can convert a list to a data frame. So next, continuing to the dictionary. Okay, so this is a dictionary, and I'm sure you have heard the word dictionary in the previous video. We have used a dictionary for sentiment analysis also. Okay, so we are creating a dictionary. Okay, so you can see that data is a variable that is used to store dictionary, and we initialize the dictionary using the curly brackets. We open it up here and we give the key value as course, and the value is actually a list. So remember that the list we have created earlier, I just copied the entire list and I have pasted it in the array, that is after the colon, and after that we need to give a particular token, that is comma, and then we give strength here. Okay, and after that we give colon. So this is the name, that is a key, and this is the value. So this is also a list, and then we give comma, and then we also give another key, that is another name, that is block, and we specify whether it is in A block or B block, and similarly we can give it there. Okay, so this is how you can create a dictionary. So I just let me just show the type. So the type of the data will be of 1 second, let me just comment it. Okay, the type of the data will be of a dictionary. So it is a dictionary type, and when we give data, you can see that the dictionary is shown here. So in order to create data frame from a dictionary, it is very simple. We just only need to pass in the data frame as the the dictionary as the argument, that is the parameter to the data frame class, and the corresponding data frame with the 3 columns and the 6 rows will be created automatically. Just remember that the number of list elements should be equal, so that way we can avoid any empty or null characters. So we just create the data frame, and because Jupyter Notebook supports visualization itself, so we can directly type in the data frame that is required and just press Ctrl Enter, and it will show as a formatted output that you can see as given in the video. So this is how we can create a data frame using a particular dictionary. And likewise, we have when we need to select about two columns, we can specify the column names, that is course and strength we are only selecting. So the total courses that is there, and the total strength, what are all the strength in the courses that we are giving here. So similarly, if we need to get the third element with this index 2, so by searching the index, okay, so this is actually, let me just print out the data frame so that it will be easier. So we print out the data frame. You can see that the second index is having English 134 and A. So that is the second that is the row that is of the index 2, and we search for, or we locate the index with using the command ILOC, and we within the square bracket we give the index that we are looking for. When 2 is given there, you can see that the second index, that is 2, is having English 134 and A. So that is the output that is displayed at the end. For course it is English, for strength it is 134, and for block A, that is A, and this is of type object. Okay, so this is how you can separate a particular row from the data frame. Similarly, if we need to iterate over all the data frames, all the rows in the data frames, we can do that. We give we only give I comma j in data frame dot iter rows. It means that we can take for all the rows in the data frame. So we are having two rows, that is the course name, okay, and the strength and the block. So as you can see, we just give print I comma j. So after that we print an empty space. So for a null character, that is only print is given, and we give print of I comma j. So this means that we will print all the values for the computer science, commerce, English, mathematics, and all the strength that is required, and also we will print the block the particular department is there in there. So similarly, when coming to the Pandas library, it can actually read a particular CSV by reading a URL. Okay, so this URL is actually having a data that is part of the Netflix series that I've been working on. So I've just used a Netflix dataset that is available online, and I have created a repository, and this link is pointing to that CSV file. So the raw link of the CSV file is given here, and it is separated with the help of a delimiter, that is comma, and the number of rows that I am giving is 1000. So remember that this is the exact command that we have used to load the external database in the previous machine learning series. So likewise, we give the data frame name as data netflix.csv, and in order to get the shape of the rows, that is the data frame that is created, we can call df1.shape. So it will return two values, number of rows and number of columns. We are getting those two values, and we can just print there using a formatted output. There are total 1000 rows and these many columns. So such a way we can load a particular URL, okay, and this pandas library, that is read underscore CSV, will navigate to that URL, and it will load that CSV file into memory and create a data frame, and it will create a data frame and it will return it to the calling function. So here we are just assigning the df1 equal to pd.read CSV. So that means that the CSV is read and the data frame file is created, and after that it is stored in df1. And similarly, as displayed earlier, we are displaying the data frame using df1 command, and you can see that this is the dataset, Netflix dataset that is available online. So it contains the show ID, type, title, director, cast, country, date modified, the movie release year, the rating, the duration, and it is listed in documentaries or whatever it may be. So next it also has descriptions describing the movie. So this is the entire Netflix dataset that is available online, and I'm just using it for analysis. In future, I will also create a session, that is machine learning session on these datasets also. So when this data frame is created, the data frame contains a head method. Okay, we can call a head function. So it will return top 5 instances of the dataset. Okay, so this means that top 5 instances of the dataset can be used for previewing purpose by simply by calling the head function. So we just give it there, and when we give a particular column, okay, one second, let me just run it once again. So this is the way we run this cell, and the data frame is created, and next we just run it again. So the df1 is existing in the current memory. So now we use df1 dot head, and we give only 2 as an integer, so number. So that means that only 2 rows will be shown. If we don't give anything, it will show the top 5 rows in the data frame. Otherwise, if we give 2 or 3 or 10, we can see that the top 3 and top 4, top 10 corresponding rows will be shown. Similarly, df1.head12 displays that the 12 instances of the rows from the data frame. So this is how you can work or preview a data frame. So similarly, we can give a df1.tail, so that will display the bottom 5 instances, bottom 5 rows of from the dataset. Similarly, for tail also we can give the number as parameters to the function, so that will display all the 10 rows from the bottom of the dataset from 999 to 990. So this is how the data frame can be previewed from top and bottom, and we give once again give the data frame. Okay. And likewise, if we need to drop a particular column from the dataset, okay, so that means that we are creating the data frame, okay, and in this data frame we need to remove 2 columns. Okay, so we are in need to show, let me just print it once again so that it will be easier. So I'm just printing it the exact column. So that data frame, as you can see, there is show id and there is even description. So if there is need to remove the particular 2 columns and create a data frame that is not having show id and description, we can give this command. So it means that df1 dot drop, so it specifies that we are dropping columns or rows. We are dropping columns, so we give the total number of columns in the first parameter as list, and in the second parameter access equal to 1, that specifies that we are removing from the column. So now you can see that the title, type, director, caste, country, date added, and release year, rating, duration listed in is there, but description and show id is missing. It is actually not available in the data frame. So we have actually created this, we have actually performed this operation, and we have stored it in a separate data frame df. So df1 will be a data frame that is having show id, description, whereas df will be a data frame that will not contain show id and description. So similarly, if there is any null values in the data set, we need to we can find out the null values using df dot is null. So it will just pop up or show whether there is any null values in the data frame. So this is how you can check for the null values in the data frame. Okay, we can just give the data frame name, and we can specify or check whether the values are null using is null. So as you can see, there are some true in the director area, and likewise other columns can be checked. Likewise, if there is any not available, that is not applicable values, that is null, or any not available values are there, so we can check it using is na. So this is how you can check it. And when there is any na, that is when there is empty records in the data set, we can fill the empty records, that is empty values, using the particular command, that is fill na. It will check for all the not available cells that is there, and it will fill it with the whatever we give here. So as you can see, I just run it there, and you can see it is adding not applicable and not available. So such a kind of values are there being added there. So likewise, if we need to give it any specific format, and we run it again, as you can see, there is the changes that is reflected in the data frame. So this is how you work with the data frames to fill the not available values. So now we use the simple term, that is data frame dot describe. So we describe it and we check whether the total number of count is there. Okay, so we check for the release year. So release year is the only numerical value that is in the data set. So we are checking for the numerical values, and the numerical values is performing the standard deviations, that is 50%, 25%, minimum, maximum, standard deviation, mean, count, the total number of counts. All this is counted using the df.describe method, and when there are more than two or more numerical columns, this will show all the columns, and it will show the count, mean, standard deviation, mean, 25%, 50%, 75%, maximum to all the columns available. Likewise, we can convert a particular data frame to an array using just by calling df dot values. So it will convert the data frame into values, that is a list of arrays. So that will be used for traversing or any other processes. Likewise, when we check for the type, we get that it is nd array. It is an array that is listed. And likewise, when we filter the particular column, okay. So for example, we filter items using the title and only country. So that means that only title, and based on only title and country, we are filtering items. So only these two columns will be there, and we are filtering all the values. Similarly, we check for the numerical values, and we can directly call in the mean function or a std, that is for standard deviation. So such a kind of statistic functions can be easily called by just by using the column name inside the data frame object, and we can call the statistical methods, that is mean, standard deviation, max, min. So this kind of values can be done. So this is how you can work with the data frame and pandas using Python. So pandas is a machine learning library that is available on the online, and it is to be used with the scikit-learn machine learning toolkit for doing machine learning operations. So pandas will be very much favorable and useful when you are going to load a particular dataset from the internet. So when such a case is there, such a purpose is there, the pandas will be very much useful. And the data frame is the class that is being used to create the tabular data. This tabular data can be used to store the data set that you can load from the internet or even from your local computer. So I hope this session would be very much interesting, and if you have any queries, please post it in the chat box or the comment box, and if you need any help, you can directly contact me. If you really like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and share it to your friends, so that this channel might reach and improve their knowledge. Okay, so thank you very much, and I will see you in another video. Okay, thank you.